In 2011, more than 20 years after his retirement, Father John DeLue was removed from active ministry by the diocese following accusations of sexual abuse involving minors. His removal was only made public last week when the diocese released its list of credibly accused clergy, and now we're hearing from one of his accusers for the first time, but also from Father DeLue, who died 4 years ago. He gave a friend documents about the alleged abuse in case the allegations ever surfaced. Those documents indicate the diocese was concerned about scandal and tried to minimize publicity. The accusations against Father John DeLue centered on his time at St. Leo the Great in Lafayette. One of his accusers, Nancy Mouton, tells KATC he sexually abused her and most of her 6 siblings. She says, "For years, Father John roamed and groped and grabbed and unbuttoned buttons of our clothing while my dear unsuspecting mother was in the kitchen preparing a feast in his honor. Little did she know he had his feast far from the kitchen. He had unlimited access to all of us." Mouton says she and her family gave depositions to the diocese to Monsignor Roby Robichaud, who is also on the list of credibly accused. She says, "We had hopes for justice and even monetary compensation for our pain and suffering. Robichaud told us we would have justice. He lied." After DeLue's name became public, one of his friends provided KATC with more than 100 pages of documents, including his personnel file and correspondence with former Bishop Michael Jarrell, who was bishop when the accusations surfaced against DeLue. "Apparently, you do not realize the damage to your reputation that could be done if certain persons decide to bring this matter into the press." That's what Jarrell wrote to DeLue in one letter. In 2011, documents show an effort to lessen any scandal. Bishop Jarrell placed restrictions on DeLue's ministry. He was ordered not to engage in public ministry, but was allowed to say Mass privately and administer the sacrament of reconciliation. He was ordered to have no contact with his accusers. For the rest of his life, DeLue maintained his innocence, even in his obituary, and questioned motives of the accusers. In this letter from the initial accuser, who has since died, DeLue underlined a portion where she wrote, "I will entertain a substantial offer." In the margins, DeLue wrote, "Pay a lot and I will stop." In a letter to Bishop Jarrell in 2013, DeLue compared his plight to Jesus, writing, "I am having my own Good Friday. For nearly 2.5 years, although innocent, I have been falsely accused, made to suffer, being condemned and punished, robbed of any priesthood." For years now, the Church has been suffering from the consequences of clerical child abuse. Certain bishops shielded guilty priests to avoid scandal. In May of 2013, Bishop Jarrell responded, writing, "The restrictions on DeLue's ministry would remain in place." He said, "Please be assured of my personal concern for you, despite the unfortunate cross that has come into our life." There is no record the allegations were disclosed to the public nor law enforcement while Father DeLue was alive. We've reached out to the diocese to see if Bishop Jarrell's handling of the case was appropriate. We have yet to hear back.